Man, not them too. Dang, come on, bro. All right. So Nick Cannon looked into the camera and said, I f with Trump on his own show while sitting next to Amber Rose. And Chili from TLC, man, we need to get into that too, because it has been a wild 48 hours and we're tapping all the way into it because what's happening with these celebrities? And the timeline is all ablaze. So, welcome back to my channel where we keep it real, we keep it relatable, and we keep you locked in to the latest and the most up to date content. I'm your host, Chabella, and today we've got two stories that broke in the last 48 hours, and y'all know they're connected. We got two iconic celebrities with MAGA policy. And the question the entire internet is asking right now is, man, what is going on? So let's start with Nick Cannon. So, Nick Cannon, the man with 12, yes, a dozen children, a hosting career, and a media empire, has a web show called The Big Drive. And his guest this week, it was none other than Amber Rose. Now, if you don't know Amber Rose, she's a well known Trump supporter. She's been at all the rallies, she's been very vocal, and she doesn't hide that, nor her forehead tattoo. So when Nick sat down with Amber, some of us maybe should have already seen this coming. But in case you didn't, here's what happened. They get into a political conversation and Amber starts talking about her politics. She says the Democrats are the party of the KKK, and Nick Cannon, instead of pumping the brakes and checking her, he agreed. And then he goes even further and he looks into the camera and he says, quote, man, with Trump. Now, he went on to say he has conservative views, but the most flabbergasting part is him saying,
Part of the Republican Party.
That's right. Former Democrat, former liberal.
Yeah.
I was a liberal Democrat my whole life.
Is that because the bag has got so intense and so heavy that you had a whole nother, you up there with the elite now? Or?
Not even close. Not even close. Democrats don't care about black people.
Okay,
And they don't care about people. They don't care about people of color. And the Republicans do. And that's the misconception.
And you know what? I agree with you 100%.
Thank you,
People
man.
don't know that the Democrats is the party of the KKK.
Yep.
People don't know that the Republicans are the party that freed the slaves.
Yep.
I mean, both of you and I have some conservative views. You just a little bit more outspoken about it than I am. And I honestly, I don't subscribe to either party. I rock with W.E.B. Du Bois when he said there's no such thing as two parties. It's just one evil party with two different names. So
yeah, I mean, look, listen, I'm not married to any party.
right.
I voted for Donald Trump because we had two options, and he was definitely by far the better option for us. And as of now, I agree with a lot of things that he's doing.
Well, but cleaning house.
Yeah.
he doing
But
what he said he was
guess
gonna
what? If there's a time where I don't agree, I'll say I don't agree.
Yeah.
I'm
We
not.
got the Gulf of America now.
Period.
He charging, he's like the club. He's charging a $5 million bottle service fee to get into the country.
I know. Listen. But guess what?
Nick Cannon is a black man with a massive platform, with children who are going to grow up in this country. And he sat on his own show and said he supports Donald Trump. No asterisks, no well. What I mean is, he said what he said, then proceeded to call the Democrats the party of the KKK, without adding in the fact that the parties gradually switched. And by the 60s, the Democrats became the party of liberalism and progressivism, nor acknowledging what is actively happening to Black families today under this current administration. Comments like the Democrats are the party of the KKK is exactly how misinformation and disinformation work. Nick Cannon clearly fell asleep in his history class after that part, and the context matters. Even more, facts matter. And the wildest part, Nick didn't walk it back. No clarification, no statement. He's just standing in his own ignorance. But I will say this. If you go on Nick Cannon's page, you go on that page, he has deleted all of that. He has. So even though he hasn't made a statement yet, this is kind of a statement to me because find you can't find that footage. That footage is gone, y'all. Somebody, hopefully he came to his senses and somebody must have got in his ear and actually showed him what's up. Now, could he have just been caught up in the energy of the room? Was he under the influence of Amber Rose? Or was that man just grifting to get a bag like how many of them have been doing? Either way, the internet exploded and is still burning. But hold on, because if Nick Cannon had you clutching your pearls, Chilli from TLC might just make you drop them. Now, let's dive into Rosanda Chilli Thomas from the iconic girl group TLC, the Waterfalls Queen, the woman who had us singing, Baby, it's yours if you want it tonight. The public federal records show that Chile donated more than thousands of dollars to Republican linked fundraisers and Trump election efforts in 2024. We're talking multiple donations directly to the Trump National Committee, donations to the Win Red, which, for those that don't know, is literally the Republican Party's fundraising platform. And it wasn't once, it was over a dozen times. And then, as if that wasn't enough, fans went digging on her social media and found that she had reposted a video pushing the conspiracy that Michelle Obama registered to vote as a man. A conspiracy that has been completely and thoroughly debunked, but that lives in right wing circles and gets passed around like it's a fact. So Chilli gets on Instagram to explain herself. This is what she said.
Hey guys, I wanted to come on here to address a few things that's circulating on the internet that's very concerning to me. Let me say this first. I have the utmost respect and admiration for Michelle Obama, and I would never say or do anything that is disrespectful to her or to any woman. I would never do that. And I had no clue that this repost had happened until I started getting phone calls and text messages from everybody, and I immediately went to my page to see what was going on. Now, mind you, I'm not very computer savvy, so I'm looking for this repost button, and I see that all of these buttons are very, very close to each other. And clearly I was scrolling and my thumb hit the repost button. Again, I had no clue that something like this happened until I got all the calls. But of course, I took that down, and I would never post anything like that. I would never do something like that. That is not my character. I have supported the Obamas. I gave to the campaign, both runs, voted twice for him, and supported the organization that Michelle had in the schools for exercise for the kids. I would never do anything that's harmful or hateful to anybody. I'm just not wired like that. That's just not who I am. And when it comes to organizations that I have donated to, these are the things that support the veterans. I have always supported them, not just now, but for years. This is not something new. So I just wanted to let you guys know, this from me, that I would never do anything so disrespectful, and I would just never, I'm just not about hate or anything like that. If you look on my page and see my posts, it's all about love, faith, and connection. That's what I'm all about, and I've always been that way, and I will continue to be just that way. So I just want to thank you guys for, your love and your support, and just taking the time to listen to me right now. I really, really appreciate that. And I love you guys. Thank you.
All right. So she says the buttons were closed and she didn't know she was reposting. Okay, girl. But why did you let the picture stay up there? We all see the pics on our posts and our reposts. But okay, after being caught, she did take it down. She apologized, as we saw in the video. And she said she's always supported Michelle Obama and she would never disrespect her. And as far as the donation, well, she said she thought she was giving to military veterans and anti human trafficking causes. What? She said she did not read the fine print. Girl, you specifically donated to Win Red and to the Trump National Committee, which is literally the man's campaign fund. And you thought you were helping veterans, not once, but multiple times. Multiple times you didn't read the fine print. I don't know. I genuinely want to give grace, but you're saying you made the same mistake not once or twice, but repeatedly. I kind of feel like she's playing in our faces, maybe gaslighting us. And then the fans are posting comments like, you donated to Trump, the Senate Republicans, and Ted Cruz. Yuck. For the veteran. And how many times? And on accident, that many times? That's what the fans are saying. So Chilli ended her statement with, quote, I am not MAGA and do not support any of the many policies that are causing great harm to the American people. And I hear that, but here's my question. And I'm asking in sincerity. If you genuinely don't support those policies, if you truly love Michelle Obama, if you're not MAGA, how do you accidentally give money to MAGA more than once on a platform specifically designed for Republican fundraising? You got to make that make sense. That's not a gotcha. That's a real question. But here's what I keep coming back to. And this is just me talking to y'all straight. We are living in a moment where the lines are getting blurry for everybody, including the celebrities with massive platforms who influence millions of people in their thinking. And whether it's Nick Cannon boldly declaring his love and how he messed with Trump in public, or Chilli quietly cutting checks to Republican campaigns. The conversation about where our celebrities stand politically is louder than it has ever been. Black people are not a monolith. We have never been a monolith. And people have a right to their political views. But when those views impede on human rights and freedoms and how it affects how everybody lives, we kind of got to cut ties. Don't stand in front of your community and say you're not something while the receipts say otherwise. Don't let somebody else's energy in the room pull a confession out of you that you refuse to own. And don't hand money to a political machine and tell me you didn't know what you were funding. The community is watching. The community has receipts and always has receipts. And right now, the community definitely has all the questions. So here's what I want to know from you all. Do you believe Chilli's explanation? Is this grace worthy, or is it gaslighting? And Nick Cannon, did he mean it, or was he just caught up in the moment? Drop it in the comments. Let's have a real conversation. That's what this space is for. And if you're new here, thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss an episode. And share this video with somebody who needs to be in the room for this conversation specific. I'm Child Bella. Until next time, chat with you.